Hello, everyone, and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. This week, a week of positive points and performances. I am Scott Carney, and joining me in Club Deck Corner tonight is Jimmy Mackay. First of all, how are you, mate?
Very good, mate. Very good. A bit of positivity from Rangers, although I'm not hanging my hat on these two games, these two domestic games where we've looked like fucking prime Brazil all of a sudden. So two big games coming up Thursday, Sunday. So I'm sure we're going to get into it, mate. But yeah, good to see you boys chatting all things Rangers. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and Ross McLean. Ross, how are you?
Good evening, gents. Yeah, all good, mate. All good. We had a pleasant viewing at the weekend again. Again, same as Nicky. Try to keep my hat on, but you can only play what's in front of you, and I'm quite happy with what I've seen. So looking forward to getting into it, and yeah, big night on Thursday, big glamour tie. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, look, I'm the same. But if you can't be slightly positive after what we've watched this season, then I don't know, you're not really doing the right thing, in my opinion, because you've got to, because I've been desperate for some positivity, and we finally have some positive things to speak about. Ross, do you know what? Tell everybody about your claim to fame, mate, that happened after your Antonio Cholak jumper wearing.
Yes, there's apparently Antonio Cholak loves the pod, in which he laughed at the repost on Instagram. So Antonio Cholak has seen the podcast, which is quite incredible. Yeah, guy's an absolute legend. What I'd do to have him back, but yeah, he ended up liking the post on Instagram. So cheers, Tony, love you. It was some more positivity last week. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, excellent, mate. I'm just expecting, after you go out for a steak dinner with him, obviously, that you get him on the podcast, mate. That would be much appreciated. It'd be nice for Tony Goals to make an appearance. But no, I thought it was class, mate. It really did make me laugh. So well played to you, mate. Really well played to you. So we'll start tonight. Obviously, we've got Rangers things to get into, but we'll start tonight with another giveaway for our Merry Members Christmas giveaway. This one will be for a tour of the Rangers Museum at Edmondson House, obviously, for 4 people. And this was courtesy of the Rangers Charity Foundation, who have kindly donated it to the podcast. So yes, very much thank you to the Rangers Charity Foundation, and don't worry, everybody, their donation is coming at the end of this year from the podcast. We'll definitely be doing that. But thank you very much to the Rangers Charity Foundation. They are always very lovely to deal with and very supportive of this podcast. So yes, it's for our channel members. Jamie, I'm going to get you to pick a number because Ross has done a number and so did Alistair. So Ali picked number 25 and Ross picked 56. So any number apart from the two, mate, between 1 and 92 would be much appreciated.
Let's go for my favourite number of all time, number 8.
Number eight is David Nimmo. David Nimmo, congratulations. You have won a tour for 4 people of the Rangers Museum, courtesy of the Rangers Charity Foundation. I keep saying because the podcast email is club dot, and I made a boo boo with the podcast address because it's club.at.22.podcast@gmail.com. Never thinking that I would need to possibly read that out at one point, and it's a ridiculous email. I've never got around to changing it. So, but the link for our email address is in the description for the podcast. Get in touch with me, and I'll make sure we get the vouchers sent out to you for that. So, congratulations! Thank you very much for supporting the channel. And yes, 2 more to come. We have the coveted Manscaped Chairman Pro to come. You'll be able to get your hands on that if you sign. Well, it might be another chance of getting that if your number is picked at random by one of the guys, and we will have a gift voucher as well for the Rangers store. So thank you everybody for getting involved in that, and sign up. I say we'll be running it over the next 10 days, so we've got 2 left. If we've got enough, I've not figured out the logistics because we're a very professional podcast, how many Club Deck Corners and Club Lives we've got left. 3 maybe before the 23. So there might be an extra prize that I'll need to randomly make up. I'll make up a random prize. There'll be something else pretty good for you. But yeah, get yourself signed up to the channel, be in for a chance of winning. So yes, David Nimmo, congratulations. Get in touch, mate, and we'll get that sorted. Right, gentlemen, we'll get into proper Rangers things now. We will start with the very convincing, I thought, 3-0 win over Ross County on Sunday. Jamie, I did a reaction to it, so I'm interested to get your and Ross's opinion on it. But Jamie, I'll start with yourself. What's your overall take on it, mate? A 3-0 win in Dingwall, midday kickoff. I don't think you can grumble too much at that.
It's a potential banana skin for us. We hate going to Dingwall, especially after blowing the title there last season. So I think everyone was like sort of a wee bit nervous, even although we had performed against Kilmarnock. You thought, are they going to be able to just keep this form rolling on? And I'm glad to say we did, mate. I thought on Sunday it seemed like a very routine win. The major difference for me is that front three. The front three, they just seem that there's so much more interplay between them. They're swapping up positions. They're loads more creative. You got to remember it's a tiny wee pitch at Dingwall. We were finding space in behind. We were playing some very good football, and again, John Souttar at the back. For me, he's not getting a lot. He's not getting a lot of praise heaped upon him, but he should be getting a lot of praise heaped upon him because I think he's been solid, and they've got big strapping guys up front. They could usually cause him some issues, and Balogun just breezed it as well. So I thought back to front we looked pretty good on Sunday, but as I say, there's just a wee asterisk there. Just keep it rolling on, Rangers, and keep it rolling on into two huge games Thursday, Sunday.
I don't think that's too far from the truth, mate, because I am not getting carried away and thinking that everything's rosy, and that I still believe I now believe that Philip Clement is the future. I don't as of yet. However, I am always here to be proven wrong. I want to be wrong when I have negative opinions. Not like this podcast, I have negative opinions of things, but negative opinions of players, of managers, of the team, of the club, or whatever. I always want to be wrong. I always want, because if I'm wrong on a player or a manager, then it will usually mean that there's success coming our way, and that's all I want is my Rangers team to be successful.
Absolutely,
but
mate.
I think there's definitely been positives there. Ross, if you take the European result against Nice into equation, which I don't tend to do because we speak about it quite a lot. The European is kind of an outlier. It's kind of away from the domestic stuff because if we don't win the league, then it's not a massively successful season for us. If we win the Europa League, as like I've said before, I'd probably let Rangers away with not winning the league, but realistically, with the teams involved in the competition, that's probably not going to happen. You never know, stranger things have happened, but you know where I'm coming from. But you take that into consideration. We've conceded 1 goal in 4 games. We've scored, was that 14 goals in 4 games? From where we've been to where we are now in terms of a week of football, or a week and 10 days of football, if you like, for Rangers, that's a kind of marked improvement so far.
Why couldn't have happened months ago, honestly? If it just happened a few months earlier, we would have been in a slightly rosier position. But no, you can't take anything away from it at all. You're right. Clement is still, it's still hard to kind of back his corner with as we say, the last few months we've seen. But these last 4 games, you're right, is a drastic improvement, and we need it going into this week. You know, we've been harping on about needing to see performances leading up to, especially Sunday. Obviously, Thursday's a big game. It's a bit of a free hit, let's be fair. You're playing a Tottenham side who are, don't get me wrong, they've just lost at the weekend, but the quality they've got is unmatched compared to our team. But we now go into Sunday. If you told me a few weeks ago we were going to Sunday with a bit of confidence, I probably wouldn't have believed you. And I was speaking to a fan from the other side of the city today who actually thinks that we might have something against them, which I kind of turned around and was like, you're right, it's a Tuesday, what are you drinking? But for going into Sunday after these last 4 games, you feel a wee bit rosier, and we've been needing that. So yeah, especially the weekend was just another just very routine 3 points up the road, kind of similar to what Kilmarnock was, and we're starting to see. For me, I'm seeing players in the team, which I'm sure we'll come on to, but players who I can see being here for a while. See, for a while, I was kind of thinking, like, for example, Tierney, he'll be out the door. Like, I can kind of, we need to try and replace him. Igimani, is he good enough? Will he be here? Players like Igimani, Hadji, I can see them. They could be here the next few years. They are starting to bed into the kind of the team that we want to see. We want to see foundations being laid. People like Raskin, etc. There's things are starting to string together. Again, I'm not my Clement Christmas jumper's in the cupboard. That's staying there. That'll come out eventually when we win on Sunday. But I'm starting to get a bit of the Rangers feel back with it, which is what we needed. Which is what we needed.
I think it's welcomed because it has been. Let's not lie, it's been tough to watch Rangers this season. It really has. It's been difficult. We've had no real runs of consistency. We've had tiny peaks and mega troughs. Really, it's been hard to remain positive and remain upbeat about what you're seeing on the pitch. Obviously, the calls for Clement have been coming for weeks now. Really since the Kilmarnock game, wasn't it? Really, since the Kilmarnock game is when it all kind of kicked off from there. So, I think without getting too carried away, I still want to look for positives in it because, as I say, from what I have been watching to what I have been seeing, there has been marked improvements. There's absolutely no doubt about it, Jamie. I think you're right to call out Suter. I don't think it's a coincidence that he seems to be finding a bit of form and we're looking a bit more solid at the back. I still think it's a massive concern, and it's no disrespect to Balogun. I don't want people to think, oh, you're giving him a hard time. The guy should not be our first choice centre half. People will say Davy Weir played until he was 75. I do understand that. Like, I completely get that. But I don't think Balogun's got the what's the word I'm looking for? The player next to him. Like, Davy Weir was lucky with the players that he had next to him where he could kind of control that. Balogun, I don't really see as a guy that commands the back line. He's just part of it, if that makes sense. So Balogun's not really the guy that I think is. He's not a captain for me, put it that way. I don't think I would be giving him the guy the armband, and because I don't see the longevity or in him in that. Maybe I'm being harsh, I don't know. But I think John Suter is one for me that I'll bring him up because you spoke about him. I think he's just quietly going about his business and just improving. We all know what Suter is as well, and I think that sometimes we kind of goes against him because we expect him to be this all-round master of the defence. But John Suter is very good at breaking up play. He's very good at bringing the ball out from the back when he has to. He's a very good siege defender in terms of none shall pass and I'll win that header by hook or by crook, which I don't mind. Sometimes it can be a bit harum scarum. We've seen it like with guys like Nicholas Katic. Katic was good. Katic, I don't think has ever lost a header in his life, but sometimes he was a wee bit kind of bomb scared, and I suppose every kind of centre half has that. But John Suter, I think, deserves a bit of credit, mate, because he has seemed to have turned a corner a bit and he seems to be growing in confidence within that shirt. And I've said it before, one of the most important things for John Suter's career at Rangers was Connor Goldson moving on. But I think Suter over the past week, these past 3 games, and Europe, even if you want to include that, I think he's been good.
I think he's just matured as a player as well, mate. Obviously, and he's in the Scotland setup a lot, and he's now starting games for Scotland, which I think is massively helping him. I think the only thing that he doesn't really have in his locker is pace, and I think that probably Balogun saves him a lot because he's, for a 36-year-old guy, he's still got good recovery pace. But mate, I'm with you every single day of the week. We can't rely on Balogun to start this many games. I know we're going to go on to the teams later on, but I'd be shoving proper in on Thursday just to make sure we can get Balogun at his optimal performance levels on Sunday, because we're going to need them, because they're going to be playing a lot of balls in the channels and balls over the top. But back to Suter, like I remember that last game he played for Hearts in the Scottish Cup final, the 22 season, the one where we got to Seville, and obviously we won the final 2-1 in the end, I think it was. But Suter that day was magnificent. I thought, oh, I'm actually glad we've signed him because he looks commanding, like you say, mate. He brings the ball out from the back. He looks every bit the centre back, every bit the Rangers centre back. Now, since he's come in, he's had a few performances where, like the 4-0 at Parkhead, which I think was his first Old Firm game where he played with Davies. But Davies just kind of let him down. We all know how bad Davies was. He made him look bad that day. Obviously had the short pass back to McGregor, but he's had a few wee games where we went, oh, is he the man for us? Is he the man that's going to be commanding the centre back position and being like the new Goldson for me, mate, he is now. It's his shirt, and it's whoever plays with him is the issue. I think, like, in terms of January, we need reinforcements. We need somebody else in to play with him, because I can't see Balogun making it past this season either. To just hop back to Balogun, see if we got Balogun that played the 55 season and Tav wasn't captain, I'd have gave it to Balogun, because Balogun always just seems to get the ethos of the club, seems to get the culture, like, loves Jimmy Bell. Like, I seen that Jim McAllister was back at the stadium a few weeks ago, got his picture taken with him. So, like, I just think he is a type of player that understands Rangers. He gets it like a fan, which you absolutely love to see. But no, Balogun and Souttar, they seem to have a real understanding, a real chemistry. But definitely the last 4 games anyway, like you were talking about, mate, we've only lost 1 goal. The last 4 games, they seem to have that same kind of chemistry that that Goldson had with Big Phil that season. We were absolutely brilliant, and we conceded it seemed like a handful of goals. So long may it continue. We've got 2 big tests coming up, and let's just see where we are then. But, like, I do think John Souttar, I would say, as it stands, future Rangers captain for me.
I think Ross Jamie's maybe changed my mind a little bit there, as I was thinking things a little bit deeper in terms of Balogun. Maybe Balogun deserves a bit of credit for talking John Souttar through things. Maybe it's the experienced defender next to Balogun, a trusted, experienced player next to him, and I mean that probably with disrespect to Proper, because I don't think he's really cut out for Rangers. I think we all believe that I don't really think he's got a real chance of being a first choice centre half at Rangers based on what we've seen so far. But maybe Balogun is the one that's looking at Souttar and going, look, you already know what you're doing. Maybe that's given. Do you think that is giving Souttar the confidence? Maybe that's what's helping him grow in confidence, is playing with someone like Balogun that he know he can 100% rely on.
I think you're spot on. I do think you're spot on. I think there's definitely, as you've said, we have seen the not so great moments of Souttar, and it is probably not coincidence it's been beside Ben Davies. So you're right, having a person like Balogun there, who, as we've said many times before, I do think Balogun's probably our best defensive, just natural defensive player. Don't get me wrong, Souttar again is showing that he's making his way up there, but Balogun's definitely defensively very sound. But I think the two are just accompanying each other very, very well, and I completely agree that we need to make sure that Balogun's ready for Sunday. There was an interview recently with Balogun who, I can't remember what game it was after. It was after a loss, and he was speaking about kind of the way things were going. The transparency that was coming out of him was so refreshing to see, and that's, you always get up with Balogun. I completely agree. He's captain material. Obviously, it's a very kind of touchy subject, and putting the captain's armband on somebody isn't going to maybe change all the problems of the world. But Balogun showed that he is that kind of head in the dressing room. I think that maybe an Alan McGregor would have been, even a Stephen Davis, somebody who just gets the club kind of. Well, I'm getting Tav will do the same. Don't get me wrong, Tav will do the same. So will Butland. But Balogun's just, he quietly goes about his business, and he's just a very, very decent player to have. So if we can keep him for as many games fit as we can, brilliant. Obviously, he is an older player, but physically the guy's peak, he's absolute peak condition. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with the two of them just now, and it's good to be speaking about defensive solidity, and we've just scored 9 goals in 2 games, but yet we're speaking about defensive stuff, which is good. So that's really positive to hear. So yeah, long may it continue, and clean sheet against Spurs is on the cards, boys. It's on the cards. My 5-0 Rangers is going to come to fruition. I'm ready.
I love it, Ross. I do, mate. Look, if Balogun is, I don't think he's a man to be crossed if the going by the experience I had when he gave Lufthansa Airline a bit of his mind when we were trying to load the plane from Frankfurt to Glasgow. He was not a particularly happy man. He really was not a very happy man with how things were going. And then just after, I went, "All right, big man, can I get a picture with you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Thanks, mate." I was like, "Thanks very much." But no, I don't think he's one to be crossed. So yeah, maybe it is the partnership that's bringing the best out of the both of them, and maybe it's got to be a contributing factor really to the kind of the more solid foundation we've seen at the back in the back line. But credit goes to Suter as well, because he's been a massive part of that. Jamie, a week of positive performances, positive results. I don't think there's really any doubt for me that it has been a much more positive week being a Rangers fan. And you briefly touched on, mate, the front line, the changes that he's made to the front. I mean, it's remarkably a similar shape to what we have been playing. There's not a great deal of difference, but what I am seeing is a lot more intent, a lot more of fluidity between the players swapping positions. And I think the movement of Danilo, Hagi, Igaman, Tierney even now as well, because he can now roam a bit more free, knowing that Dessers, again, it's not a Dessers bashing, is not just standing in the middle of the box, because his movement's pretty much non-existent. But I think the options that he's now got available, and Igaman hitting the ground running the way he has after consistent starts as well, I don't think that can be underestimated, mate. It's a more fluid front line than we've seen, and I think the changes so far in terms of what looks to me just taking the chains off them a little bit, the front players, especially with the movement that they can bring. Danilo will occupy defenders, Igaman will, and it's fresh and it's new and it's not. The rest of the SPFL are not just coming up against Dessers standing in the middle of the box.
Well, you said it wasn't a Dessers thing. Like, for me, it is definitely
It probably is
a Dessers thing. And you know how much of a big fan I was of Dessers last season. But
yeah.
no, for me, mate, it's just as you say there. Like, I think Danilo is he's got a footballing brain. So does Igaman. Czerny doesn't seem to be roaming around as much. He seems to kind of like to stick to that right wing, but we all know what he's like. He's great at cutting inside, but I like the interplay between Danilo and Igaman because they were swapping positions a lot. And I think when you have someone like Yanis Hagi in the 10, he's got vision. He's just got vision, and these guys are making runs that the big man Dessers, he just can't make. He's too static. He's like a penalty box striker, and that's playing against a packed defence like we were on Sunday and like we were against Kelly. It just can't cut it. It can't cut it. So I think last week against Kelly, when we seen that front three, we all thought, "Oh, what's going on here? Like, this is something a bit different." None of us really knew how it was going to go, but I'm telling you, after 2 games, that has to be the front three we start with. Nothing but positivity for me, mate. And I think obviously with the addition of Hagi in the 10 too, I mean, I do think Barami's he's probably gonna struggle getting back in the, see if those players stay fit, he's gonna struggle getting back in that team. Also quite liked I've been singing Barron's praises all season, but I quite liked Diamandi and Raskin in there because Raskin just seemed to be doing his job sitting, and Diamandi was playing in a much more elevated position up the pitch, which just meant we were feeding more balls into feet and we were doing a lot more stuff. Whereas it feels like when Barron and Raskin play together, they're a lot alike. But mate, honestly, nothing but positivity, and let's just keep it going and see what these players can do together, because I honestly think they can do great things in a Rangers shirt.
It's definitely changed the dynamic of the team. I don't think we can deny that it has. I think you can clearly see that it's changed the dynamic of the team just because the constant interchange between Danilo and Igaman, it's just defenders don't like it. They don't like that, and even if it's one of them dropping deep, the other one, defenders don't like to do it. They don't, because they're taken into a position where they don't want to go. They're then in a position also where Yanis Hagi's picking up the positions between the midfield and the defence, and it all causes the confusion. And confusion is what leads to openings. It what leads to space. It what leads to, if everybody knew their job all the time and did their job 100% of the time, nobody would ever score a goal.
You're bang on. It's slightly chaotic. You can, but it's like beautifully chaotic. So I reckon a lot. I reckon a lot of the SPL managers will be going, "Oh shit! You see what Rangers are doing now? They're mixing it up a wee bit." And that's the thing, mate. And like you said at the start of the pod, we have bashed Clermont into the ground because it's not been a good season. There's no one more than us on this podcast that want him to succeed. And now he's shown that he's got a bit of tactical nous. As Ross said, he could have showed it a wee bit earlier in the season, but
Absolutely. If he changes things round, I will happily sit on camera and eat a big, massive bit of Belgian humble pie, mate. Will
I'll
happily
join
do
you.
it.
I will
I
join you.
happily do it. Honestly, I will, and I've got no qualms in doing it. I really don't. But I mean, we're still at the early point. I think if the corner is to be turned, I think we are on that corner. I think we are not fully round it. I think we are going round, which will be quite a long curve. I'm not going to lie. It's because of what's happened previous, but yeah, I think it's. But I always want to be wrong, mate. I genuinely do. You have to give Dessers credit where it's due, Ross, as well. He came on against Kilmarnock. He scores 2 goals because he's facing the goal. He's even said it himself. When he's facing goal, he probably will score goals. Don't get me wrong, he'll still miss some because he's Dessers. But the 2 goals that he took against Kilmarnock were tidy goals, and I'm fine with him being a contributor to Rangers in terms of coming on from the bench when teams are a bit tired. Maybe we're 2-0 up and we're just needing that third goal to secure the points. Whatever it may be, I think we can still utilise what's one ability he might have. But you've got to agree, I think, Ross, that the movement of Danilo, Hadji in particular, and Egerman is what's changing our fortunes right now. And it's playing players in their best positions. It's getting the most out of the players by just playing them in their positions, as if the penny maybe has now dropped for Clermont that maybe he should be doing that.
No, 100%. Yeah, we were so one-dimensional the last few weeks. Where, well, to be fair, you could probably say the last few months, every team knows exactly how Rangers are going to line up because it's the same blueprint that's been for the last few years. You're going to see somebody in the right, somebody in the left. They're going to eventually swing crosses in. With players like Hadji and Igamani, you're spot on. They're moving about. See, on the ball, they're tricky. They're tricky players. So if you have players who are actually moving about the pitch, but then can, have the footwork to make those openings, like even like Igamani playing a few wee Trivella passes outside his foot, just wee bits of creativity that we've been lacking, and that's what opens the gaps. You're spot on. It's what we've been crying out for. That front three, obviously, we can't use it on Thursday, which might actually be a blessing, but that needs to be Sunday. That needs to be Sunday because you've seen what we do from it. Dessers, if he can come on and can he be the Kemar Roof 2.0? Come on, bag a goal. Like just it's if he can do that, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he won't be best pleased with it. But for the team, for Glasgow Rangers, we'll love you for that if you score goals. Having Agamani and Danilo is something I wish we found out sooner. I wish Hadji was back sooner. And again, not getting too positive about it, but it's some seriously good foundations being built. Tierney was probably a wee bit of a frustrating game for him. It was the one game that I've seen him, he's still on goal quite a few times, and every day of the week, I could tell you every day of the week he's cutting in his left, but he was going on his right a good 2 or 3 times. If he went in his left, he probably would have scored. So maybe if Tierney was on, going for that left side, could that have been 4 or 5 at the weekend again? And you're coming away scoring, double digits in 2 games. So there's it feels strange saying things like that for Rangers because they don't have those are connotations that I did not have with my team for a good wee while. But it is down to Clement's, as you say, kind of getting there with tactics. We want him to do well. I'm sure he also, don't get me wrong, I'm sure he loves the club. I'm sure he's well invested in the club. Keep bringing that, and we'll welcome you. We will welcome you. And a big shiny thing winning Sunday will confirm that for me. But yeah, positive signs all around, boys. Positive signs all around.
Yeah, absolutely. You're always going to get, but after the season we've had, you're always going to get the doommongers. You're always going to get the other end of, not happy clapping, I would say it's happy clapping. I think if you want to be as positive as you possibly can be about that, then fair play to you generally, but it's been a tough season. It has been a tough season. And we've said it before on the pod. I don't want to sit here and be negative. I honestly don't. I want to be positive about my team. I really want to back the team. I really want to back the players. But there's definitely a whiff of change in the air. And I'm all for it. As I say, it's completely welcomed. It really is. And you've got to give credit where it is due. There's been a number of players that have performed, and we are starting to see something. It will all really count for nothing, and we'll come to Sunday. Look, I understand there is 2 massive games this week. We will concentrate on the Spurs game tonight, but obviously the Old Firm Cup final, we can't be denied the fact that it's on the horizon, and we will concentrate on that. But I think to go from where we have been to have that week going into what is a massive week, then I'm pretty delighted with it, and I'm pretty chuffed at that. I'm probably somewhere in the middle in terms of complete doom and complete happiness. I'm like, right, I'm now at the point where in fact, I'm going to say if you're on a positive and negative spectrum, I'm halfway more towards positive, if that makes sense, than negative. So, and it feels great, man. It does. It feels really nice. I hope it remains for a long, long time, because it does feel lovely. But look, all roads have been leading to the cup final. That's where we've been pointing since pretty much the draw against Dundee United. Everybody's been thinking it's about that game. However, there is a pit stop to make first, and it is Spurs travelling to Ibrox on Thursday night. Jamie, Spurs are not in good form. They're really not. Domestically, they are not in great form at all. Postecoglou is under a bit of pressure there. I've been kind of keeping tabs on them this season. Well, since we got told that we would be playing them, I was kind of checking the results and seeing how they were getting on. They are on a bit of they're a bit of a rocky road just now, sitting 11th in the EPL, which is not anywhere near where they really should be, considering the size of the monetary value of the club. Anyway, what gets put into the club. Now, I think you can look at that in 2 ways. In my opinion, you look at what happens to us when we are not doing very well in the league, and then Europe comes around. Maybe it's a bit of a let-off. Maybe it's a bit of relief for them, less pressure, which is a wee bit of a concern. I'm not going to lie, because, look, a top-flying Spurs team shows up and we're not on the ball on Thursday. I think we all know the outcome. Let's not lie. As Ross said, the golfing class is pretty huge. We all know the story, financial, English Premiership, blah, blah. Not getting into all of that. Or it could work in our favour. Maybe the players are looking at Postecoglou not thinking they know, and not thinking that they believe in what the manager's trying to put across to them. So Thursday night, Jamie, for me, look, I think it's a free hit for Rangers. I think where we are on 10 points at this stage in the competition, I would have took it any day of the week going into this game. Rangers can go out there, play a bit of a natural game. I wouldn't have thought they'll be feeling a great deal of pressure ahead of the game, because we will be considered underdogs for it. And I think Ibrox will be a bit raucous, mate. So it'll be interesting to see how Spurs react to it. So what's your thoughts ahead of the game?
You're right, mate. It's just it's a free hit on Thursday, really. Like, as you say, Spurs are. I watched the whole game on Sunday against Chelsea. I said to you boys in the WhatsApp, "What a game of football! It was brilliant." Spurs. The one thing we need to watch is there'll be a bit of a wounded animal. I know Romero, who's our first choice centre back, is 100% out. The other boy, Van de Veen or something like that, starts for him. I think it's 50-50 if he's going to play, but that's 2 guys that they rely upon to play the way that they play. There's no doubt we're going to get chances on Thursday. It's just how well we defend against them, because you seen his Celtic team, like, they just come out flying. They come out absolutely flying. He's got lightning pace on the wings. He's got lightning pace with his number 9. They press high. So within the first 5-10 minutes, we're going to really need to be on point. Every single player on the pitch is going to need to be on point and doing their jobs down to a T. So I just hope Coman has got them well drilled this week. He's done his homework on specific players that are going to be playing. But it's exciting, mate. It's like a Champions League level game. Do you know what I mean? Like, you were just talking about the positivity being back. If you can't get yourself up for these games, give your ticket to somebody else. I'm absolutely buzzing for Thursday. I think it's going to be a great game. I think they're also going to probably bring a good amount of fans for the corner, which will add to the atmosphere.
I think they've sold out their allocation, mate. They've sold out their allocation.
So they'll have the Dortmund allocation. So that's fine. I'll have the Spurs boys right beside me in BF3. I'll be able to pick one of them out and give them dog's abuse throughout the game. So no, I think it's going to be good. The thing about it is, what you need to do is sort of transport yourself back to the season that we got to the final. We felt like we could beat anyone. See the players that played that year. I think it's obviously only Tav and Balogun that are still there. They need to be saying to the boys in the dressing room, go out there and listen to these fans, listen to the reception you're going to get walking on this pitch, because you're not going to be able to hear. The thing about it is, we're just going to need to, as a fan base, or like sometimes when we lose a goal, an early goal or whatever else, the atmosphere is sucked out the stadium a little bit. I really hope that does not happen on Thursday, because we need to just stick behind them. And as you say, mate, it's a free hit, and the big one is on Sunday. But I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Yeah, Ross, could some see it as a positive, some see it as a negative, the fact that we've got to play Spurs before the cup final. But I think Jamie's spot on. I think you should be feeling up for this as a player, considering the week that you've had. It is a big glamour tie. There's absolutely no doubt about it. They should be one of the, in my opinion, just due to the stature of them, top six really at worst in the English Premier League. You would expect to see Spurs there or thereabouts there. And looking at the league table that they currently have, almost this is why football's such a beautiful game. They've scored more goals than Liverpool, who are sitting first. Now, Liverpool have only conceded 11, but Tottenham have only conceded 8 more than that, and they find themselves in 11. Beautiful game football, it really is, if you try and figure out their stats. So their stats are not the worst in the English Premier League. It's just the fact that they're losing games by a kind of small margin at times. It's kind of left Postecoglou under a bit of pressure. But obviously, I know, Ross, you expect a 5-0 win from Rangers. They love the ambition and the belief of youth, Jamie. If only I could go back to that, what I would do to go back to that. But no, in all seriousness, Ross, what are you expecting from the game?
5-0. No, I was joking. I mean, well, my mind instantly, when I think of a team like Tottenham at Ibrox, I cast your mind, unfortunately, back to the last time an English team came to Ibrox, in which the Liverpool night, which we won't go into discuss. But again, that game, Ibrox buzzing, you're coming against a team who, Champions League winners, something like that as with Tottenham in the Champions League final a few years ago, were 1-0 up. Obviously, don't get me wrong, Liverpool might have won that night. Goldson goes off. We had a chance that we were 1-0 up against Liverpool. Could we do it again? See on Thursday night, if we go 1-0 up, could we hang on? Could it be a famous, again, sorry lads, the blinding lights of Europa League football is literally live and just now.
I'm here for it, Ross. I'm here for it.
But I'm the same with Jamie. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. Tottenham they're a team just now who, anybody who plays fantasy football, they're an absolute headache, because you bring players in and they perform one week and they're rubbish the other. It's the complete hot and cold. Frustratingly, I think they've got Southampton at the weekend, so they'll probably play a pretty strong squad. They won't be rested. If they had a Chelsea at the weekend, they might have been resting players, but they'll be pretty strong. Obviously, players like Son, Solanke, etc. The quality's in abundance, but the atmosphere will be completely added by the fact that who their manager is. It's a complete cauldron on Thursday, and one that unfortunately I won't be there for. I'm gutted I won't be there for it, but yeah, it's one of these games. Whenever these games come around, you just have to embrace it. I think games like Benfica, whenever they came to Ibrox, yeah, don't get me wrong, massive tie. There's something about an English club coming to, especially the standard of Tottenham, that just this is what you look for at being a football fan. So I'm buzzing for it, mate. I'm buzzing for it. I'm hoping the positivity doesn't come back to bite me thinking about that Liverpool night. But I'm going to run the foot while I can. But yeah, just I wish it was kick off in 15 minutes. Honestly, I've got that buzz for it now.
If anybody can sense in my tone and my voice that I'm not absolutely. I am up for it, but unfortunately I'm not going either because I've got to go away for work tomorrow and I'm not back till Friday, so I actually miss the game, which is a bit of a gutter. I'm not going to lie. When I seen the date of this when we were going away again, I was like, "You are kidding on." But unfortunately, I have to go and do the company thing, so I won't. I won't be there, which is devastating. But yeah, look, it's a massive tie. It really is. It's one of those ones that you look forward to. It's what European nights are really all about. Obviously, the Liverpool game does leave big, deep scars on me because it's probably I've been shell shocked quite a lot with Rangers over my 30 years of watching them. But that was up there because of the way the game started, like you said, when we were 1 up, and after that, I was like, I remember going over to Ali when it was at about 5-1, I think, and I sat down next to him and I didn't even speak to him because obviously the stadium had emptied at this point, and I just sat next to him and he looked at me and I was just like sitting shaking my head like I cannot believe what's happened here. But I expect a much better performance than that. In the Europa League themselves, they are behind us by two goals. They are we're sitting in exactly the same points, exactly the same wins, losses, draws. We've scored 2 more goals than them. We've both conceded 6 goals, so very tight in that terms. It's a very close tie in terms of the Europa League standings. So look, it could be one of those nights, and I really hope it is one of those nights. I hope it's one that I unfortunately miss, but I hope it's one of the European nights that we look back on with great memories. Thursday nights at Ibrox under the lights, we all know is a different thing. It's a different animal altogether. And if we win this game, it sees us through by I think some stretch. I think we'll be absolutely fine. I really do. So yeah, it's a massive tie. I think I can phone in sick. I think it's too late now. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can or not. Anyway,
I think you're a bit too early in your career, mate, to pull the old
yeah,
sick
I
mate.
know.
Maybe
just
maybe
started the job, like,
maybe
mate,
give it another year. Give it another year, 6 months or
yeah.
something like that. You'll be all right. Aye.
Yeah. And even when it first kind of because it was getting closer to it and we weren't doing very well, and then we have a positive week, and I'm going, of course, we're having a positive week before the game that I can't go to. Yeah, it's perfect. But right on that, we'll finish with teams and score predictions. Jamie, do you want to go first, or do you want me to let Ross go first? What's your thinking here? You can have your pick.
But because Ross is absolutely filled with positivity and he has us winning 5-0 on Thursday, I'm gonna pass the baton over to him to take us away first.
Right, Roscoe, you go first.
Wow, okay. Right. Button and goal. Tav at right back. Suter.
You think Tav? First of all, do you think
so.
Tav really?
I think so, yeah. I
Just
can. If Casemiro was back, maybe if Sterling maybe had a bit more minutes in his legs, maybe. But I think just for the occasion and because he's off the back of a goal, I reckon he'll probably start Tav. It's the sort of game that you'd expect your captain to start. So I think he will play him. Suter, I agree, proper to come in to give Balogun some refreshed legs. And also we've seen good moments of proper in the Europa League, but putting 4 past us was not doing any good. But we're staying positive. I need to remember that. We've got Jeffrey at left back. I'm going Raskin, Diamande. I think I agree. Stick with what worked in the Europa League. I'm gonna play Brahmi in the 10. I reckon this could be his chance. As Jamie says, Brahmi could have some difficulty getting into the team. Could Thursday night be the opportunity for him to grab and go, hey, I'm still here, by the way, because the light is slightly gone off him. So I'd play Brahmi in the 10, front 3, Igamani, Tierney, and Dessers, obviously, because Daniel's not in the squad. So with that, 2-1 Rangers. 5-0 Rangers. 5-0 Rangers, and D9 to get us off the mark.
Yeah, interesting team, mate. That I'm not going to lie. I think I 100% agree with the sentiment of playing proper over Balogun, because I think Balogun has to start on Sunday. It's quite difficult to not look past this game. We always do it as Rangers fans, but it is difficult not to look past this game considering what Sunday might mean for this team domestically. Tavernier, yeah, I'm a bit humming and hawing because, again, I don't think he should start on Sunday. I think we should start Sterling, and it's no disrespect to James Tavernier because he has had an upturn in form the past couple of games with 2 goals back to back, scoring against Kilmarnock and then scoring against County. But I don't want to see Tavernier versus Maeda ever again. For as long as I live, I don't want to see it anymore. So, and I don't think Tavernier wants to see it anymore. So I don't think it does anybody any favours. So I would look at that. My midfield 3 would be, I think Tav will start, by the way, on Thursday, though. But my midfield three would be Barron, Raskin, and Diomande in the 10. And I would play Barami, Igaman, and Tierney up front. I don't think Dessers is required for this game for the starting lineup, so that's what I would go with. I'll also go positive, mate, and I'll go for 3-2 Rangers. I think it could be a bit harum scarum, but I'll go for a classic 3-2 Rangers and Igaman to score a hat trick. Why not? And I'm going to put it on, by the way, because I got the team selection right on Sunday. I got the score right, and I got the first scorer right on Sunday. So I'm going to put it on. So you've heard it here first. Don't follow my betting tips. Honestly, you're just literally peeing money up against the wall. Jamie, you're starting 11 and your score prediction.
I'm on Sky Bet right now, just putting that in my request a bit, by the way.
I think that's the first time in 4 years I've done all three right, so I wouldn't bother.
Was it?
I wouldn't bother. Yeah.
Since
we started the podcast, mate, it's probably the first time in 4 years since I got all three right.
There's no levels of consistency there. That's what you're telling me. Aye,
none.
Right, okay.
None.
No,
at least it's a familiar feeling to have, isn't it? No consistency. Exactly. You never know. Maybe this is the positive. Maybe I'll get two right in a row. Maybe it is. Maybe we're all turning a corner here. Who knows? Just saying.
Right. It's worth a flutter, mate. It's worth a flutter. So yeah. I was very keenly listening out for Ross's team there, and you know what? He's named the exact same team that I've been thinking about for the last 20 minutes as we've been chatting, because I seen flashes of Igaman on the left the other day on Sunday, and I thought, oh, you can actually play there, and you've got bags of pace in behind. The reason that I think he'll start Dessers is he's looked a little bit underwhelmed when coming on off the bench. I think you'll be saying to him, right, on you go then, here's your chance, go and score a couple of goals. I agree with the Tav sentiments there. You can't argue against the fact that the last two games that he's played, he has played very well. And I've been a big Tav basher, so I need to give him some praise. I worry as well, he can't start on Sunday. It honestly gives me nightmares thinking about Maeda against Tav, so that's why I'd be keeping Big Douche for Sunday. But I do think Tav in these games, he can offer something, so I think that's why I'll put him in there. I think he'll lean into his experience in the run that we had to Seville. He knows that he's played in these big games. He's scored against Braga. He's popped up at the back post, so I think that experience will carry him through. The only thing I worry about is the pace of Son against them on the left and the pace of their front line. But let's worry about that on Thursday. So that the exact same, a carbon copy of young Ross's team. And Scotty, I'm going to match your scoreline. I'm going to go for a 3-2 Rangers as well. I think there's going to be goals on Thursday. I think it's going to be an exciting game. And I'm going to go the Moroccan buff to score first, Hamza Igaman. Let's go.
Absolutely, mate. I'll take it. I'll take any of the results, to be fair, and I hope it is one of the classic nights. It's a bit of a free hit. I do get that, and I know we've got Sunday coming up, but trust me, on Friday on Club Live, we will very much be focusing on the cup final. That is for sure. We'll pretty much go through the team with a fine tooth comb, I would imagine, to try and see how we can correctly predict or incorrectly or have no real influence on what happens on Sunday, but we like to think that we can. No, I'm kidding, we really don't. But yeah, look, massive game, massive week coming up, and I'm just happy that I've been a refreshing, positive podcast. I don't think I've been too negative about too much tonight. So that will do us for tonight. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff. Jamie, thank you very much for joining me.
Good to see you, lads. Let's keep this positivity rolling on, and looking forward to Rossi's 5-0 on Thursday. Can't wait.
Cannot wait. You might as well listen to Rossi's betting tips than you should mine, to be fair. Ross, thanks very much, mate.
No, thank you, mate. Thank you. No, we'll see what happens. We'll see for these games. You get that buzz, whether it's blind optimism, I don't know. But we go into Thursday. This is a huge game and a huge week, and let's be having you. Let's see what happens, and when we win 6-0, I'll come back and I'll have a big smile on my face. So enjoy the rest of your week, lads. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah, magic, mate, and happy anniversary, hen. Just saying, happy anniversary because I need to. Yeah. So yes, Ali will be back on Thursday he'll do the reaction video. I'll get it up as quickly as I can. To say I'm away working, there's a thing on Thursday night that I will try and make time to get the reaction up, but I'll do it as quickly as I possibly can. So Ali will bring reaction to that, and I will be back as well on Friday for Club Live as we look ahead to the massive game on Sunday. So enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. I hope your team has another very, very positive week, and we have a very positive week again as a podcast, because that would be much welcomed. And we just need to hope that we can continue to ride this kind of upward crest of a wave that we have just now, and see where it takes us come the end of the year. I am Scott Carney. This has been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we'll speak to you all on Thursday after the game. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.